Yeah, because the deck plays 28 lands, right? 3 draws, pretty much half the deck is lands. It's decent odds. Okay, that's a very good top deck. Yeah, that's definitely the hardest part. You're kind of playing like a really weakened version of blue white in a sense, to a degree, depending on what you're against. But after you get the hang of that, and you're able to balance both, uh, the deck becomes really strong because it's really easy. Obviously, when you have the combo, it's the plays are much more obvious. But without it, yeah, I can see where it gets a bit more difficult. So how I play the deck, of course, is I see Lotus Field kind of as a bonus more than anything. I for geometric calculus. Yeah, 83%. Yeah, that sounds about right, actually. Which is pretty good odds, so. True. Yeah, the Lotus Fields are not hit. Um, yeah, so um, the deck, in a sense, is weaker blue-white without it in the early stages of the game, but eventually you will hit your Lotus Field. So you just have to survive till the mid game. But it really depends on like what the matchup is. Having Doomscar really helps slow down the pace of the game. Yeah, Verdict is harder to play because of how weak the White Lotus is compared to like yeah, horrible attack, but it doesn't really matter. Um, how weak Blue White Lotus is compared to like regular Blue White because they have lay down arms, part of a hole, all that. Doomscar really allows you to have the same kind of turn 3 board wipe that regular Blue White can play with Lockdown. You can't really play Lockdown with Proctor though because of the ETB trigger, it counters it. So Doomscar is the next best thing. The problem is Doomscar kind of sucks against spirits, but you gain equity against everything else, and you lose equity against spirits. I think, in my opinion, that's a good trade off to have. Yeah, Dromoka has been really strong, and I don't think I would ever take out one, for example. It's actually definitely one of the strongest cards that was changed. This hand doesn't really do anything for me here. I could stall with Shark Typhoon, but that's a turn 3 on the draw. I kind of need a Doomscar or a Proctor to really slow down the game. This was with Proctor. Would be perfect. Against like Rakdos, this is a fine hand. Against humans where they really go all out, I think I have to mulligan this. Mulligan too, so. Okay, so this is much better. Weakest land is probably Ottawara here. So the Chandra is good in a sense, but you're kind of relying too much on Lotus Field, and sometimes you don't always get it right. So I personally don't like it because of how I don't depend on Lotus Field at all when I play this deck. It's nice to have the combo, of course, but the fact that you can still play without Lotus Field, I think, is a big advantage. So the difference with Dragon Lord Dramoka and like Chandra, for example, is you can naturally cast Dramoka because of the Sparas, whereas Chandra, it's really hard to do that. Really annoying. I think I have to block the one card left in hand. I just have to stall and take efficient trades. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of like the issue with Chandra. Against the decks where you want Chandra, you're not necessarily able to have time to set up. This going to. Oh wait, I misplayed. Oh, I had to do it. Okay, tilt concede, tilt concede. I forgot this gives ward. Yeah, I win game 3. Still an early day for me. What was I? Yeah, so yeah, like Chandra. This is horrible. Okay, this is a really good hand. I can't lose with this hand. It's impossible. I prefer Tamio over Behold because of the passive, mainly because there's so much like Thoughtseize, Juris, and all that. It really actually is like a must answer for Rakdos, for example. And just like the buyback, having a reliable way of buybacking the spells that you need, uh, really strong as well. The +1 is also really good because the deck does play a lot of 4-ofs. So what happens is you can name like Discontinuity to Fairy, whatever you're trying to find. And at the same time, you're also kind of like binning your memory deluges. So what happens is you're kind of just getting like a lot of value. And you're also kind of going through your deck a lot faster because you can always minus the turn after with Tamio. So it's kind of just like a great addition. I found it very strong. Okay, that's yeah. I mean, this is kind of like a non-game. kept a hand with triple Mutavault, no white, I guess. Not a hand you could be keeping. Yeah, that's what it looks like. And then activated the wrong Mutavault. Fighting, sure. Too bad it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I remember the ward this time. Yeah, this card is good, but it was a bit too slow with triple Mutavault hand. Only if only he had a white source. Probably still would have won this game even if he had a perfect curve because of the nuts that I kind of drew. This is really bold. Yeah, there's not really a way I lose this game. I think he forgot about the ETB trigger, as usual. Most people do. But it's normal. Kind of like how I forgot about the ward. Okay, I think it's time to wipe the board, clean it up a bit. Play this guy. Yeah, so the difference I think of regular blue white and blue white Lotus is kind of how you were seeing me really hold my removal until I really had to. You kind of have to do that much more than regular blue white because of how kind of in a sense limited board wipes you have. You don't always have the right ones. So you have to always use them as optimally as possible. Oh, there you go. Oh, 2-0. Kind of trolled my game too there, but worked out anyways. First game was against Goblins. That I 2-1. I think I lost. Yeah, I lost game 2. What I also like about Blue White Lotus more is it's very hard for Blue White Lotus compared to regular Blue White to go to time. Because after a certain point, you have so many ways of like killing them quickly with like a big shark or like all of Storm Giants are just attacking every turn, or against Mono Green, for example, you can copy their Lair of the Hydra with Thespian Stage and then swing for 1,000,000. Like regular blue white. Yeah, so that's kind of like the thing I don't like about regular blue white is how you kind of have to have the right hand against a specific matchup, and they have to have a specific hand against you, or else it doesn't always align together, and then it just becomes really awkward. For example, if you need like a board wipe and you get a counter spell, it's like, yeah, that's kind of what steered me off of blue white in general. This is a really strong hand. I want to play too. Oh. Yeah, but Spirits, I mean, Spirits is pretty good against Blue White in general, even against Blue White Lotus Field. I think that matchup is much more play draw dependent though. But yeah. I have to foretell here. I can't really risk playing a turn to Proctor. It's probably like maybe creativity. So this is really good because now I can actually use this undo inversion as kind of like a board. Yeah, okay, this is creativity. Creativity is not a bad matchup, but seems like I could lose if I don't draw anything worthwhile, for example. Okay, why did he Fiery Impulse when he had full count? I think that was a misplay. Whoopsie, yeah. So what does Magma Opus do again? Deal 4 damage. Tap 2, create a 4/4. And so he's gonna have Gearhulk and a 4/4, so I would have to keep like a Doomscar. To draw cards too, and draw 2 cards. Yeah, okay, so basically against me specifically, it's basically draw 2 cards. Because draw 2 cards and yeah, because Doomscar this. Yeah, so then game 2 I was at the turning point and he ripped Invasion. Yeah, Invasion of Govakan is insane. That takes the verdict, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how my usual games are against Lotus spirits as well. At this point, I really want to try to draw like a deluge or something. A deluge basically saves me from this kind of awkward situation where I'm just like have nothing in my hand. This is fine to cycle. Okay, this is playable. How do I do this? I want to be able to cut my mind better. This and this. I have a feeling this is getting countered, but this resolves. This is really good for me. Okay, this is huge. All right, so I can name probably a good card. I need discontinuity against this type of matchup, so I need more than Teferi in my opinion. So yeah, well, I shouldn't name Teferi. Doesn't really matter. Situations like this right now are what have me dropping. It doesn't. It's true, but Tamio also mills, right? So if I milled a deluge here, it would have been kind of even better in a sense. I don't think he can kill my Tamio, so next turn I could just buy back the Teferi, if anything. I'm gonna play this. You could make a 3/3 shark and then kind of just lose Samurai for no reason. Yeah, if I named Teferi there, I would have gotten 2 Teferis, but it's the same chances, right? Because you have 4 Teferis and you have 4 discontinuities. But maybe it was right to actually name Teferi since he didn't counter my Tamio, so it kind of showed like he didn't really have anything. The thing to note as well with Tamio is um, over Behold is this is kind of like board pressure, right? It's something that your opponent has to answer, whereas Behold, it helps you find threats, but it's not an answer in itself. So, like, sure, I didn't get any value out of it, this activation, but if this isn't answered, it's gonna get really out of hand for my opponent. Gearhulk, card cast. Wonder what the molds are gonna be. Wait, why did he tap my thing? Oh, okay, yeah, he has to tap thing. Four, so it's kind of annoying, but it's not that bad. I'm gonna name this continuity again. Okay, so I found the deluge at least. Didn't find the discontinuity, but helped me go through what is this, like 4 lands that I would have drawn. That's pretty good. Hello Dracos. Game is going pretty well. Even though it doesn't look like it, it's going well. I'm 2-1 right now. I just won against humans and I won against Goblins yesterday, so I'm just finishing this up. Yeah, so next turn I have the Memory Deluge. So you see how kind of he had to use the Magma Opus on the Tamio, which is kind of good for me, right? Because, you know, that's 4 damage that didn't kill my Emperor. That's 4 damage that didn't go to me. And I still have my Tamio, so he still has to deal with it. I don't get the minus, of course, but I got the Deluge out of it, so. Another one. Sure. For what, though? Oh, okay. Yeah, like... Now it begins. So this line is something that he would have never done, right? If I had Behold. Because he's so scared of like my Tamio and the activation he did on his main phase. Which is the right thing to do. But it's still kind of bad for him overall. Because now I get to do this. Yeah, this is nasty now. I get to do this. Get to do that and that. That. Oh, I forgot to play. I'm gonna try to play around like a make disappear, so this gets countered and he sacks it, I can at least make a 1-1 to trump block the Gearhulk. Yeah, make disappear as expected. Yeah, this might actually hurt the fact that I forgot to minus the Wandering Emperor. Played a bit too fast there. I don't think it's that big of an issue though. Yeah, 2 cards left in hand. I'm still in a very good position. Even if this gets killed and my Teferi dies. Okay, it doesn't die, so that's even better. Yeah. Another Gearhulk. Oh no, created. Okay, sure. There's not many things left in the graveyard that he can take. Stern Lesson? That really the... Oh god. Yeah, like this game is pretty over, right? I get to untap, I get to flashback, I get to do all these things that shouldn't be allowed. Now we just keep the engine going. First. This time I will not forget. There is an argument to just foretell, actually, yeah. Because if he has to make this appear again... actually, if he has to make this appear again... Don't think it really matters with 2 cards left in hand. Yeah, Dragon Lord Jamoka is a really insane addition. And I think it's really what can shift the matchup. I think Mono Blue Spirit. I think Spirits is still favored against the White Lotus, but Dragon Lord Dramoka actually gives like a fighting chance. So I think it's really good. Okay, a hard cast Magma Opus. Oh shit! Whoa, whoa, whoa! I almost casted that. Well, this is going to exile the graveyard here as well. I lose my Deluge, but not that big of a deal. The main deck marches were good too, hitting their wonders. Yeah, main deck marches, I like it, but because of how my meta is very like focused on like Rakdos and mono green, I don't like it in the main board. I like it in the sideboard because how I see those matchups, well, against like against Rakdos specifically, the matchup's kind of like you take advantage of all the dead cards that they have. So you're not necessarily removing what they have on the board with March. After side, you definitely have to, but game one, you can really just do your own thing, outvalue them slowly, and they're eventually going to be stuck with like Fatal Push and go for the throat. And in my opinion, that's the best way of winning game one, just by outvaluing them. So I like it in the side, but I don't think I would play a main. Have my meta breakdown in Discord. Yeah, you can definitely share it, and I'll have a look after. What was I against again? Oh yeah, I was against creativity. So not a fan of this. Great. Really bad. Dark Typhoon. They're not really very either to a degree. But neither is March in a sense, actually. Dark Typhoon is probably better here. I really want Dragon Lord. Not really. Hullbreaker Horror is probably coming in. Why did I add Tamio? I like it more than Behold the Multiverse because of the passive. The +1 is also really relevant because the deck plays a lot of 4-ofs, so you kind of get to like just name Teferi or Discontinuity. And the minus, even if you don't get the thing, you get to buy back whatever you have in your graveyard, which is really key. And also the +1 putting the deluges in your graveyard is pretty strong. Yeah, Lantern is right here, yes. I want Lantern because it's the torrential Gearhulk version. I'm assuming they're still going to keep quite a few Gearhulks. Add in a few Hullbreaker Horrors. And is pretty bad. But I like it enough to keep it. Kind of crazy, but on the draw, on the play I would never keep this, but on the draw, you know, sometimes you can take these chances. Okay, never punished. I might just play Proctor turns. Let's see what I cycle into. Yeah, it is absurd. Sometimes you get one-landers, but at the same time, if you're on the draw, um, you can kind of get away with it. Yeah, this is a never punished type of hand, you know? Like, you get a one-lander into Lotus Field, Hallowed Fountain, and all that good stuff. Kinda nasty, I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised that resolved. I'm really surprised that resolved. Either he has, like, no make disappear, or... Yeah, like, it's losing for him now. Because there's no way I lose this game. That's not the play to make. Stern Lesson would have been even better than that. Taps out here, it's finished. Finished. Okay, it's not finished. He had nothing in his hand, that's why. Okay, I see. Hullbreaker Horror is something I have to do. Constantly remember about, but... Oh, this is the one thing that I really like about Blue White Lotus. This card naturally counters Hullbreaker Horror. Would you jam it? I probably wouldn't have jammed it, no. I probably would have played because it's not open deck list. I'm kind of scared of Narset's reversal. So I probably would have played like Tamio and Lantern and yeah, exactly. Just bosh it with discontinuity. That's a really interesting one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 mana. And I'm blocking this. That's for sure. Yeah, sure. Hengegate is really useful because of how it's really useful because of how Fairy Hero of Dominaria. Uh, because you play Lotus Field, right? You sacrifice your lands, so sometimes the check lands and the deserted beaches, you don't always get the condition, right? Because if you're doing turn 3 Lotus Field naturally, those lands become very awkward. And because Lotus Field is kind of like a mana fixer in by itself, you don't necessarily need dual lands as much as regular blue white does. Didn't play the Hullbreaker, that's interesting. Okay, this is actually much more annoying than I thought. 1, 2, 6, 7. I return. What can I return? Not really anything. I do that. Really anything. A Hullbreaker's in the hand. I have to respect that. Can't cast it though, so that's fine. I'm gonna take quite a bit of that. Oh no, wait. Just discontinuity. Play line discontinuity. Last card is the Hullbreaker. Okay, so that's definitely the play. Then what? Can't let him attack. This is hard. Because if I sack my lantern, I lose my graveyard if it's actually relevant. But if I or any other line, I think so. I have to. Is that or I just take it? I think I can actually take it here. Even if he plays the Hullbreaker, I don't think it's that bad. Okay, so it's Hullbreaker. I need to find a Teferi. Like, really badly. That's the only way I come back from this game. Okay, ask and you shall receive. What inspired this deck? I'll answer very quickly right after. Think about this. So if I take this and this, play this, he has the Hullbreaker, of course. I let that resolve. Do that. I even need. Let's do both. Plays the Hullbreaker. No, I can definitely win this game. It's fine. I don't need the board wipes. The Hullbreaker's coming, that's fine. This is why Tamio is so good. I get to buy back my discontinuity. Guarantee another turn. We have board wipes in the graveyard? No, we don't. I don't have any except for undo inversion, so I have to really dig for that. The other way is to also eventually get the ult off, which I think I can pull off, so... Yeah, we're gonna see. I'm definitely in a very fine situation. Like, this is not losing. It's okay, it's okay. I'm not worried at all. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna eventually find a lot of things to answer this board, so I just have to get there. I have Deluge flashback next turn too. I pretty much see my whole deck in a sense. I think I could definitely Deluge here first. But I don't. Discontinuity, and I don't need more mana, so I'd rather have the card selection. The sad part is I'm probably going to have to name Undo Inversion as much as I don't want to. Ah, well, there it is. Okay. If I do that, yes, I win this game. Okay. Never punish, that's true. Um, no, I just have to play a bit tighter. I can Ether Gust this. I already have a bajillion cards. Yeah, there you go. It's pretty finished, right? Like I get to ult next turn with Teferi, get another Teferi. I don't even have to use the undo inversion. I just start exiling everything he has, and with the Shark Typhoon, I can close it out with even just 20 cards left. Yeah, this was not an obvious line, I think, uh, to win this game, but it just goes to show, like, just because you don't have board wipes, you can just take, like, the discontinuity route, you know, and take a bajillion turns. Tamio really saved the game there, right? Because I needed discontinuity, and the fact that it was in my graveyard uh, really like allowed me to plan ahead. Yeah, Tamio bots exactly. Um, so that's why I like it more than Behold, because this is a threat by itself. You kind of saw like in the game one where the creativity player was just trying to answer Tamio and really spending a lot of resources doing it. Allowed me to stall, allowed me to really get my board out and find the cards that I needed to win that game. So a quick 2-0, well, not quick, but yeah. So what inspired me to play this deck? I actually made a on Twitter the FAQ. I'll post it very quick. Kind of answers everything about the deck. Sorts over here. Yeah. All right. So now game match 3. I'm gonna play with this. I mean, and doesn't really do anything until turn 4, but maybe that is the play. If I play against aggro, I'm surely dead. I'm probably better. Yeah, my opponent is not here, apparently. So in the meantime, let's think about what decks I can play. Because I plan on streaming Modern tonight. It's not going to be my actual deck that I plan on playing for the PT, but might as well experiment with other decks in the meta. Okay, he's back. Spirits, of course. Okay, if I draw... I am not. I don't think Rink is actually that good. I think it's great in 4-color because the list kind of actually like supports it. But I don't think it's great in... I don't think it's great in blue-white because there's not many reliable ways of life gain. There is Solitude, but doesn't always become very easy to get a Solitude on the board. Okay, if I resolve this, I can maybe win this game. I can maybe win this game. That was kind of a insane top deck. Yeah, bouncing over to Fairy and Solitude, but because the problem is 4-color has like immediate life gain, right? Like it can... Oh, this is really good actually. It can bait... So yeah, the problem with regular blue-white is like Solitude is the only way to gain life, and I think there needs to be more ways to gain life for it to be good. So that's why Omnath is so good, because it's like you play Omnath, you get a land. It can't really interrupt the life gain, so you automatically gain 4 life. Whereas like blue-white, they can kill it if you attack, and kind of awkward sometimes. definitely think I'm gonna minus that actually. Hmm. If I minus this, I get this. Then I can do something like he has to attack this next turn. This is gonna die, that's for sure. This is probably gonna die too. Maybe it's worth it to just plus for like a Proctor or something. Proctor doesn't do anything. I minus for a discontinuity. Kinda have to hit my land drop, so maybe it's worth it. I called it. This is already super land drop. It's like a plus then. Find a strict Proctor. Hindsight, I shouldn't have used the Wandering Emperor first. If this resolves, I get to plus it, but I already used it. That's a misplay, but not that big of a misplay. Get this resolved. Yeah, plussing this would have been huge because then I would have been able to block this without being scared of like a instant speed Supreme Phantom. So now I kind of have to think about what I'm going to do next turn. He definitely has to attack the Wandering Emperor. He can't kill me here. He can activate Mutavault, kind of taps himself out, but it might still be the correct play. Curious Obsession, yeah, that feels kind of bad now. Is that me? At least this is like not really awkward attacks actually. That's interesting. Definitely blocking that. Okay, so he has 2 mana. The only way to save this is what, like a slip out the back and a let's see what he does. Okay, so flip out the back. If I play a Dream Trawler here, I'm not sure if that's winning. If I get like Shacklegeisted, a bit too risky, I think. Let's play Teferi and see what we draw. Buy back that. Cycle this. And step. Play this now because I can't risk getting countered. And this. Really interesting lines I had to take here. And I hope it's enough. If I get to untap, I'm in a really good position, but he can definitely kill me here. There's a way to remove my Proctor, for example. Maybe not. Okay, I think I'm fine. All that to me, this blocks this. I go to Proctor has done enough for me. Okay. Okay, well that's a great one. So I can do a lot of things here. I can do that. That's I could never risk getting discontinuity because it's so bad if it gets countered. So I plus here. If I minus this and then I do Proctor, get another Emperor minus that. Not winning. Oh, I see the line now. Okay, so minus this for sure. Play this. Keep that plus this. Play Proctor. Minus this. Minus this. And then go to my end step, untap, and then Emperor this immediately. There it goes. Because now I have a chump blocker for the Mutavault, and I get to block this pretty easily. The Tamio has done enough in this matchup. Yeah, this is quite huge. If he wants to counter this. That's a misplay. Fortunately, the Proctor triggers. Okay, I certainly not lose this, I think. Kind of think if it's worth it to bounce them. Just save it. Probably worth it. 2 cards in hand, so he can have a Geistlight Snare. And let's say Geistlight Snare and Lofty Denial. I would need 7 mana. Actually, not that bad. Okay, this works. Fine. Just going to do this now. No reason not to. Yeah, I had to take a lot of interesting lines for this match to, well, this game to work out. But the Tamio really saved me there somehow. Let's plus this. Play this. Play the Dream Tree. Okay, you don't see that often, winning game 1 against Spirits, but it happened, so be happy about that. Not sure the Tamio is great here. Definitely not great. Probably rather have a veto. This hand is interesting. You know what? We're on the draw. We're probably gonna lose anyways. Sometimes you just have to go for it. Oh no, oh no, no. No, I yielded, no! No, don't take the sensor, oh my god. He didn't take the sensor, that's... Maybe that's just be nice. Okay. I'm ready to concede. I'm ready to concede. It's okay, let's go to game 3, let's go. We did it for science, we did it for science. In a real event, I probably would have mulliganed that. I think I got the 30%, yeah. Yeah, his name does sound familiar. I got the 30%. Yeah, I drew the sensor, I got the sensor, I drew another sensor. So I saw 4 cards, right? Drew for turn. Yeah, I saw 4 cards. Didn't see the land, unfortunately. What the hell is this? I mean, it's actually keepable. This hand is actually playable, like really playable. I'm basically playing Lotus Field. and I'm at the mercy of my top decks. Ah, well, well, you know, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew this was gonna happen. You know, sometimes you're just a professional. It's just off the top. Off the top, it's not easy. You know, I was never worried. I'm I'm sorry. I drew the Proctor off the top. Yeah, like you know, sometimes you don't play the deck, right? The deck plays you. So it punished me game two, and then I was like, nah, it's enough punishment for game three, right? So yeah, it's like kind of disgusting. Yeah, this is a lot of mana. There's no way I lose this because now this is kind of like having my own Teferi Time Raveler, so this is a play. Uh, yeah, I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to tilt him, but this is a misplay because it gets countered by my Proctor. Or maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe it was intentional because that's kind of like the only way to um, come back from this. Maybe I'd like to think that because this guy plays Spirit so often, it was actually intentional and he wanted to just get into it. Kind of makes sense actually. Still gonna be very difficult. Not holding back. Don't really see a way of game. I'm 3-1 right now. I'm 3-0, so maybe I could do a 5-0. Yeah, Dragon Lord is really insane. It's like a fat to fairy, well, mini fat to fairy. That's fine. GG. Yeah, I shouldn't have won that. To be honest, I kind of had like the nuts of the nuts. That was kind of disgusting, but that's kind of at the same time what I like about Blue White Lotus is there's no deck, even Spirits being a really bad matchup, that can beat your strongest hand, right? But Blue White control, you can still definitely lose even with your strongest hand against Spirits, right? Because um, there's not that many strong cards in Blue White itself that you really have to like have like double luck in a sense. Like he has to have specific cards against you, and you have to have specific cards against the player, and it makes it really awkward. So this is going really well. 4-0. And I get the 5-0. I haven't played much Pioneer at all on MTGO actually since the RC. So since the reset. Just because honestly I think after a certain point playing this deck, honestly, it's kind of like redundant in a sense. Kind of always doing the same thing. But the Tamio actually gives like a bit more spice to it, so I really like it. And Tamio surprisingly saved me a lot of games. Like the one against Spirits, game 1. There was another one that I don't remember, but it was one of these matches as well. Boros is really impressive. There are changes that I do want to make, and I'm going to probably be doing that off stream. Test it. But I do plan on streaming tonight as well for Modern. I want to play like 4-color. I want to play I actually want to play one of the last chances, so maybe I'll get enough points for like this last chance or something. In 8 hours at 10 o'clock p.m. Actually very doable. I need to collect 9 more qualifier points. When's this one? This is in 4 hours. I mean, if I just keep drawing like this, I don't see how I lose. Uh-huh. Of course. So because I just drew double Proctor like a professional, I get to play turn 2 Proctor here. And force like a chump block or force an answer on it. The 4-color one, right? The one with the one. Yeah, McWinsauce is obviously a very good control player. He's one person that I used to follow previously when he was on Blue White. He hasn't really played Blue White since though, and I can kind of see why, because Blue White is not obvious to play sometimes. I still very much like Blue White. Yeah, kill it, please, kill it. Perfect, beautiful, love it. Yeah, no, yeah, no. I mean, if I drew like this on paper as well, at Cincinnati. If I draw like this on paper in Cincinnati, wow. Yeah, so I think my PT list actually it's blue white Narset. I'm not really revealing the full list, but I think it's probably the highest win rate deck that I've played so far. In like actually on par with blue white Lotus. Like I have a very high win rate with blue white Lotus, and I think that's just because I have like a lot of experience with the deck. Um, and in modern, I'm having like very similar results. Whereas last year in modern, I was really struggling to win. I was kind of like having like a 55% win rate at best. Um, and that wasn't really something I was happy. Yeah, I do really want to put it. It's just gonna have to wait. Gonna be I'm gonna have like everything ready as soon as the list is public for everyone. I'm going to release that. Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, I did win a lot of I did win a lot of store championship promos in modern, but I don't necessarily count that because at the opens themselves, I didn't do so well, and that's kind of like what I evaluate my results on. Yeah, I did win 6 on that. I won also 6 Dark Confidants, the textless ones. I think that's it. But now, like, my modern list, I think is I'm 44-4 with my modern list. So 44 wins and 4 losses with the experimentation. Of course, I haven't really played against like PT level players all the time. But this has definitely felt the best out of all the previous blue white decks that I've played in modern. I have a teams event. I am the modern seed about 3 days before your list. I'm definitely going to have to check the when the lists are finalized for the PT because I think it might actually be earlier than what I assumed was July 25th. And if that's the case, I'd be more than happy to share it earlier. It's just I know there's people in my team that want to play same deck as me. Yeah, July 23rd. I'm not sure. It's really close. I think like the lists are finalized like July 25th or something like that. So I'm not 100%. Definitely gonna have to. They haven't announced it yet, actually. So once they announce it, I'll get a clearer date. I'm in the Legacy for St. Louis this weekend. Yeah, I actually wanted to go to St. Louis, but it was too inconvenient to get there from Montreal. So that's why I'm going to Cincinnati instead next week. 'Cause I do love Montreal. A lot of players in Montreal also love team trios and would make the drive if it was like, feasible or like the flight. But it wasn't. There wasn't any good options to go to St. Louis. We're all far from here. Portland, Oregon. Oh yeah, you're very far. Yeah, yeah, you're all the way on the west side. At least you're close to Worlds, right? The MagicCon Las Vegas that I'm gonna be going to as well. Um, Battling against my streaming partner, can't talk him into Lotus. Oh, this is your streaming partner right now? Oh, I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna. I have very good odds to win this, to be honest. Body him for me. Oh, it's going well so far, right? I just have to really be careful with my life total. A ton of Lotus yesterday. Yeah, the deck is very good, and I think the addition of green is what really makes it even better. I mean, that's kind of just like the best draw I could have gotten. I play my Lotus field. I do not want to discontinuity this because I want to hold up Emperor and Deluge, depending on what he plays. Yeah, and if any of you are playing Pioneer in Cincinnati and you're playing my list, like, there's no hard feelings at all. Just try to destroy me, try to beat me. I'm really there just for the fun of it. So I'm not particularly. I already have my DreamHack invite rights for Atlanta, so it's not anything major for me to really win that tournament. I'm just really having fun. Huge. Yeah, it's pretty over from here, right? See myself losing this. Missing 1 mana, that's unfortunate, but it's I had to play the 75 card mirror in my RCQ. That was a fun match. Won it 2-0. Yeah, yeah, like it's kind of like a blue-white mirror, but a bit more like degenerate, I guess. Like it's kind of like blue-white Tron playing against blue-white Tron, and so. What was I against? I was against Boros. Yes. This, this, this. Take out that, take out that, take out that. Take out the sensors. Mm. Uh, Seb, thanks for letting me know. I actually don't have a picture on Twitch. Profile picture. So let me find profile. There we go, should be good now. Sound is not great, but I think it's still keepable. It has turn 2 Proctor into turn 3 Aether Gust. And like really slowly stall the game. If I draw a Lotus Field, it becomes huge, obviously. But I don't think I can mold this. So one thing I think I can also mention is on the draw against aggro. Sometimes your best chances of winning is just to like keep hands that are risky to a degree. Because even if you keep a good hand, like a good well, okay, well. I mean, I guess the way to just say it is just draw better. Yeah, and just draw better, and if you draw well, this happens, and yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, but seriously, as I was saying, um, this is the type of hand you can keep even if you're against aggro because even if I don't have Doomscar, even with Doomscar on the draw, it's still hard to win aggro games. So you kind of have to just take the chance and hope you get lucky and your opponent stumbles a bit. Yeah, you need to exactly. You need to set yourself up to be lucky. That's exactly the best way to put it. Especially on the draw. On the play, you can be a bit more aggressive because with your mulligans because you can really. This is immediately getting Ether Gusted. Thinking if there is a. Does the deck have any way of playing any exile from instant speed? Like, if I do this after he draws, is there? Let me just look up a list. Boros aggro. Let's look at like Boros stalls. Fire Eclipse. Ugh, so Soul Partition. I mean, I don't see him Soul Partition. Why? Yeah, okay, so it should be fine. Yeah, do I have to draw step? Yeah, I was just making sure if uh, there was like an exile card or something at instant speed that would have made him make Thopters. This is really good because I still get hit for 2 because of Kumano, but next turn I get Proctor, I get Lotus Field, the turn after I get Dromoka. Continue, it's pretty nasty actually. These type of hands is like when you're on the draw, it's as if you're on the play. It's kind of like cheating. That's annoying, but because I have the straight nuts and I draw like a professional, doesn't really matter. There is a lot of waiting in this game, huh? That's 22 minutes, but I can see why it's difficult because he saw my hand and I have the straight nuts. Probably attacking invasion here. No. Thank you, Harry Fields, for the follow. Go down of the goal. This is more than fun. I get to block whichever he pumps. I get to Ether Gust it if he... I'm in a pretty good spot. I decided to do this over the Dragon Lord because I drew Doomscar, right? If I didn't draw the Doomscar, then I probably would have slammed the Dragon Lord. But because I drew Doomscar, I can actually kind of deal with this card first. If he doesn't sack it, kind of loses out on a lot of damage too. So. Okay, these exiles are really bad for him. He's getting kind of unlucky with this. Yeah. I'm kind of a bit worried because I leave myself open. It's a 3 mana light up the stage, I guess. It's not that bad. But I guess with Monastery Swift Spear, let's say he has a Monastery. He put it on top. Oh, no, no. Aether Gust fizzled. Okay, so now that's pretty good. I'm hoping there's no Hasty Boy. Huh. That's exactly what I was not. I didn't want it. I misclicked the turn with the Proctor. In what sense? Misclick what? I don't think so. I'm at 2. Go to 1. If I minus this now, is there a difference? Don't. Yeah, I think I have to pray. Yeah, the Chantress. Something. Well, that's that's actually saving. Good that it is, because it's terrible. Was it the best possible draw? I think Teferi and like discontinuity also would have been good too. But this is definitely one of the great draws. Yeah, I don't think I can complain about that. Just thinking about what. I think it's actually. I don't think I can play the Doomscar anymore. I have to really pressure the Planeswalker. Another Chandra. I mean, that's kind of fine. Okay, that's really good. Well, that was a 5-0. Yeah, that was good. I This was intended to be a short stream of like an hour, but it took to finish this league, which actually kind of makes sense. All right, let's open for the fun. Don't think I see anything good here. What is this? Boom bust? No. Terrible. What is this? No. Playable? I don't know. Yeah, nothing is great here. Got shit. At least I got 200 play points. So, it's going to do a quick post on my Twitter about the 5-0, of course. Don't exactly remember the match. Yeah, good luck in the games. Exactly. Let's do this very quickly. This was Boros Pia. I'm gonna call it Boros Exile, because that's basically what it is. This was Spirits. Don't remember what this one was. Edgar B was... Oh, creativity, right. Creativity, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, the list is great. Honestly, the change I would make is I wouldn't play. I don't think Censor is actually that necessary. It never applied in the 5 matches that I did, and it rarely applied in the other matchups. The one draw is fine, so I think I'm probably going to cut this, and then probably play something else. Other than that, everything else feels great. Tamio was really good. Overperformed probably. Like, my expectations of this card was really for Rakdos, and it was actually really relevant in a lot of other matchups, so that's good. Would I have probably... Beholds have felt great for me. Yeah, Behold's a great card too. It's just... The list is so tight, right? Because, in my opinion, you have 28 lands, right? So you have... Here's what's core about the deck, right? You have this... You have 28 lands. And... am I messing this up here? Yeah, I think I have to make it smaller. Yeah, you have 28 lines, right? Then you have like must have 4 ofs, right? So it's like this and this, and then also this. So then you have like the Doom Scars, that are pretty much a must, and also the 3 farewells. So now you have really this as your flex spots, and even this I'm gonna say is not really a flex spot. This, in my opinion, is also not really a flex spot. These are flex spots. These are all flex spots. So in reality, you have like 5 flex spots in the whole deck. Yeah, there's not much room to go with in like what changes you can make, and I think the sideboard is also very tight. Like the 2 Dragonlord Dramokas felt very nice, as you all saw in the games I had before. Sylvan's Vetoes, yeah, pretty much. So I went to I went back to 3 Emperors because 2 you don't see it often enough, and you often want it like turn 4. What do I like about Tamio? Yeah, so the passive art already, as you can see, is very relevant against like Discard, Liliana, Thoughtseize, right, all that. It's also really good as a +1 because in this deck where you have so many 4 ofs, right, you have 4 ofs and then a bunch of 3 ofs. You really have high chances of naming good cards that you need. So for example, usually you're gonna name Discontinuity and Teferi, and even if you don't hit them, the -3 next turn is very relevant because you're binning the cards that you don't name, and sometimes it's actually a card you need, or it's a land, or anything like that. And the -3 also kind of synergizes well with Finale, because if your Finale gets discarded, you could always get it back, and vice versa. If your Tamio gets discarded, then you could always Finale for 10 to shuffle it back. So it's kind of like a a 2-card, you can't mill yourself kind of situation. And then what's also really good about Tamio? Tamio is really good as well because of the fact that it establishes board presence, right? It has really high loyalty at the start, right? At 5, and then you +1, it can go to 6. So it's really hard to kill Tamio. And they usually have to spend a lot of resources. So just them killing Tamio and stalling the board is really good by itself. I like 2 Emperor and 1 Settle. Yeah, the Settle has been considered. I have thought about it for quite a bit too. In my opinion, I don't really like it because it kind of forces you to hold up mana, and it's not often that this deck like always wants to hold up mana. Sometimes you do really want to tap out and then have the board wipe, which is like Doomsday Farewell. But I don't think it's wrong to play Settle depending on the meta. But yeah, Spirits is actually winnable now with this big monster dragon. So I'm going to post this. This is probably the end of the stream here. Is there anything else? Thank you everyone for tuning in. It was very enjoyable as usual. If I wasn't streaming, honestly, I don't think I would be playing Pioneer this much because it's kind of like this deck is at a point for me at least where I know pretty much most of the ins and outs of the deck. So at least with you all, it's kind of like entertaining. I have a chat to actually interact with, and I get to actually, you know, not just focus on my play. I get to talk as well, and so that's what keeps it entertaining. Playing this alone is kind of like stale after a certain point. I think it's fun for people that have less experience with the deck and are just starting with the deck, but for me personally, it's kind of like I'm playing solitaire every game, and yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. It's still a very strong deck. Like if you ask me what would I bring it to competitive events, definitely this. But maybe at a local like FNM or something, I don't think I would be playing this again. I'd probably want to change. But yeah, thank you everyone. Happy that it was a 5-0 and it was pretty straightforward 5-0. So I'll be back tonight. I'm gonna be streaming Modern. I'm gonna probably stream like 4-color or something like that for preparation for the PT. But I think that's enough like VODs kind of thing, VOD/games with Pioneer for all of you to get a sense of what is going on with the deck. And so I'll leave you all to it, and thank you everyone.